Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Jessica Jones Season 2, Episode 5. It's called AKA The Octopus. So, full spoilers for the episode. I will say, when I saw the title, I'm like, okay, where's the octopus coming into this? There's been no hints of octopus up until this point. Where's the octopus coming from? And it ends up being a lead to track down someone, because they like visiting, the aquarium to see the octopus.
Hey, people like Octopus.
I've just never met anyone who likes something like that enough that they go on a regular enough basis that it would be a good place to go and stake
No, I
out.
agree. The aquarium's something that, you'll go maybe every couple of years at most, typically.
Yeah. Unless you actually work in the field, like you're actually a marine biologist of some kind or something. I don't know, but
I feel like most people would say, "Oh, let's go on a day trip to the aquarium for whatever reason."
Yeah. A little bit more lately if you've got kids and so on, but
yeah.
But hey, well, I'm not critiquing it. I'm just saying that's where the octopus comes into it. So Jessica was arrested last episode for the murder of Cheng's, friend, buddy, co-worker, and she's locked up. She's punching holes in the wall, but Jerry kind of convinces her that she's in a tight place, that she's not really going to get out of this. So she decides to just kind of come clean and tell them everything she knows about, the company, about the evil lady running around with powers that she doesn't really know who she is yet. And which is why I'm still calling her evil lady, because the show's still like we're still finding out. Yeah, we're still finding out who she is. And because they also have they got some surveillance footage of like her landing next to the van outside. It's like, okay, so someone landed there who matches what you're telling us. So, okay, so
Do you know what? There was a moment where when she goes in to give him a statement, she goes, "Oh, good, you brought my phone."
Yeah.
Oh, they're just gonna check a GPS thing like we said. No, it didn't come up, but they didn't need to. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they had a lot of reasons to let her go. So that was fine. I did actually quite like the scene where the guy cop is kind of like, I'm not actually like rooting against you like she is. Like, some of us remember what Kilgrave did in this police station, because if you remember season 1, there was that great scene where Kilgrave had all the cops pointing all their guns to their own heads, and it was like this terrifying thing.
Shit.
It was super dark. It was one of the most effective scenes in the entire season. And he's like, yeah, and I started sleeping better once you got him. So you know what? Here's my card. If anything comes up. No,
I actually really like this scene because it played really naturally that, okay, he was doing his job before because it did look like she was a suspect, at least from where they were stood. But as soon as there was evidence, he's like, nah, come on, let's go. There's no point in dragging this out anymore.
Yeah. And she kind of, it was almost like she was taken aback, like she didn't quite know how to react to someone saying, hey, I'm on your side. So
she's not used to that, is she?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. She phones Malcolm and is like, hey, right, so deal with the thingy. You try and track down, where this in the nurse's past, her friend who was killed. Find out who killed her. Where they are. Blah blah blah. Do the research, and she's giving him. And she's like being kind of extra nice. And he's like, "Are you okay? You alright? You feeling good?" He's like, "I'm trying a new thing, but don't push me." So fun stuff there with that. And Jessica does get out, and she does sort of look into this stuff that kind of leads her down this path of, okay, right, so the guy who was convicted for killing the nurse's co-worker is held up here. So the plot for her largely then becomes getting Oscar to forge her ID so she can get into the high security prison to go and see this guy. And question him, because like, no, I don't think you did this. Evil lady did this. Evil super strong lady did this.
Real convenient that Oscar just came around on her, isn't it?
It's very convenient. And the funny thing is, because they did the whole scene where she comes over to she comes over to ask for the stuff first, and there is actually kind of a nice, genuine little moment that I really liked, where he's like, okay, and he's sort of reluctant, but he's like, okay, I'll do this, I'll forge your papers for you, right? And he says, I'll need a picture, and she like stands, he puts up like a white canvas, because he's been painting, so he puts up another fresh white canvas as the background, and she stands there, and he says, don't smile, and she actually lets out a genuine little laugh, like that made her laugh, saying don't smile.
Yeah,
and it was,
because it's like she was never gonna smile anyway.
Yeah, but it was one of the most human moments I think I've seen Jessica have. It felt really genuine. But when she comes back later, and Oscar's mother's there, and obviously the kids running around, and it's like, oh, so it's family life, and he's like, oh, come join us for dinner, why not? And like, you know, the mother's like, oh, this new pretty girl you're speaking about, oh, this is exciting, you know, getting all motherly on him. Oh, I'm gonna have a new daughter-in-law soon, yeah. And I wasn't sure what to make of this scene, because on the one hand it was really like, okay, it's kind of a typical plot element for a character who doesn't have a normal life, and they're invited to dinner, they kind of back out of it, and then just kind of looks at them as she's leaving. She has this little look back where she sees them all be happy as a family, and it's like, oh, that's what I don't have. Maybe I'll never have that. And it makes sense for the character. It did kind of feel just a little bit too, I don't want to say cliche, but just a little too neat. Like, a little too...
I think it's because there's been no real inclination that Jessica really wants that.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say she's happy, but I feel like she's content where she is in a weird way.
I think the other reason is that, I mean, I don't know if I'd say she's content, actually, just to dispute that wording, but the other thing, the reason why I think it doesn't quite work is that they don't really buy that she really likes Oscar that much. Like, sure, she softened on him and stuff, and she wanted to have sex with him, but Jessica wants to have sex with lots of people. And
she does have sex with lots of people.
Yeah, and, you know, we've seen how it went with the guy in the bathroom just a few episodes ago. It doesn't really mean anything in terms of her feelings about that person, right? It doesn't mean that she's got a connection to them. So I think clearly he's into her, and that's all fine and all that, but I don't think we're at a point where I'm necessarily getting her. And again, the one moment against that is that moment with the photograph where she smiles. Like, he makes her laugh, which no one else does, to be fair. That was a genuine moment of connection. So I think Oscar's bland as shit. I still think he's bland as shit, but I'll give that moment credit, because that moment was...
No, I agree. It was a nice moment.
So, you know. But she puts on a lab coat and she goes into the prison and talks to the guy. I do think this scene is hampered by two things. One, it's the show's fault, and one, it's not the show's fault. One is that we watched Mindhunter not that long ago, and it was a lot of going to see violent criminals in prison, and those scenes were like the highlights of the show. They were fantastic, right? So it's got that going against it, and that it's got a really good example that's kind of fresh in my mind to compare it to. The one that is more the show's fault is that the actor playing the alleged criminal is pretty bad. He's not very
really
good.
Hams it up, doesn't he?
He's really hamming it up. This is what I'm saying, going back to the Mindhunter comparisons, is that I'm comparing them in my head to the actors who were on Mindhunter, and they were all really good and intense in different ways. And I feel like this guy's trying to do like his impression of a couple of them mixed together or something. Not that he's seen them. I'm not accusing him.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think the best defense I could give it is that he is just pretending to be this thing, because he's not really this thing.
That's true. But I guess what I'm saying is, it's not even just that he's not convincing me he's a violent criminal. It's that even when he's like trying to dodge the questioning because he's scared about it, I still think he's been a bad actor when he's like acting scared that he doesn't want to talk about it. If that makes sense.
I agree. Yeah.
So I think he's just failing as an actor in every way here. It's not just the intentional misdirect, if that makes sense. But she gets him talking, and he cages up every time she gets any more close to a good subject. And starts talking about, so how do you know so much about octopuses? Because he starts talking about octopus and giving all these facts about them. And he's like, Dr. Carl told me this. Dr. Carl's like, who's this? And I'm thinking, was that her? Is she Dr. Carl? I was thinking Carl's the last name.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Is that her? But then he's like, do you want to draw me? Because he's got crayons and he's drawing things. And do you want to draw me a picture of Dr. Carl and you looking at the octopus? And there's a little thing. So okay, it's a guy with a little goatee, so it's not her. But that actually leads to the end of the episode, where she goes to the aquarium and just kind of stakes it out until someone hopefully shows up, and eventually it does. He's there.
He recognises her.
Well, he does, but before he recognises her, Evil Lady also walks into the scene, and they kind of put their arms around each other, as if they're a couple almost. And we'll get back to Evil Lady, because she had some of her own scenes in this episode. She's getting a little bit of her own subplot now. But he recognises her and says Jessica, and then immediately Evil Lady like smashes one of the tanks. Doesn't quite completely smash it; it just sort of cracks. But everyone starts running out, and it's in a panic because the water's about to,
It's a pretty good reason to evacuate.
As reasons go, yeah, it's pretty good. We end with people screaming for help as the glass is about to properly break. That's kind of a big... It's probably one of the better cliffhangers the show's had, actually, this season.
Do you think?
Yeah, because a lot of them... I mean, it's not the best. I mean, arguably the one from the last episode was maybe a bit more emotional and maybe better in that sense, but I feel like this one, at least, is a proper action cliffhanger, whereas some of the other endings have been a little bit just kind of...
Okay, I'm with you.
Oh, it's time to end now. Time to cut to black, as opposed to this one. It felt like, oh no, it ramped up to
Yeah,
danger.
it's a shame last episode's one kind of ruined it by repeating the line too much.
It did,
because
yeah.
otherwise that would have been the best cliffhanger easily.
It would have been, yeah. Had they just said it twice instead of 5 or 6, it would have been better. Yeah. But hey, so yeah, I mean, I mostly dig the kind of the plot progression here. I actually, as much as I was kind of making fun of the oh, he goes to see the octopus so often that's a good place to stake out, I did kind of like the setting for the scene. Like, it gave it a kind of
a little bit different, isn't it?
A little bit different. You got all the water reflection and the light kind of like bouncing around, and give it a kind of moody vibe to it.
Aquariums have a very unique lighting situation. Like, you know, it's immediately okay. It's that.
Yeah. It's even different from a swimming pool, because a swimming pool has similar lighting but not the same. Like, you know, and when I say a swimming pool, I mean like at night when they shoot a scene in a swimming pool that's not being used right now, and you have all the light reflecting off the water. Like, you've got a similar vibe, but the aquarium is very specific because it's very intentional, and it's always like that for.
Yeah, it's because the dim light, and then the light of what is there refracting through at all these strange angles.
Yeah, so no, very 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 moody. So I like that. As for Crazy Lady, though, for evil Crazy Lady, we see her burn all her clothes that had the blood on them, and we see her, you know, just basically she's playing piano, and she's been all fine, she's singing along to her piano, and then her neighbour shows up, because her neighbour's got a kid, and she's like, oh, she's been crying all day, but she heard your music, and that you know, snapped her out of it. Can we come in and listen to you play?
I hated this neighbour. What a presumptuous bitch. Oh yeah, we met at the sale, like yard sale, whatever it was, like a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay. Oh yeah, can I come in? Sure, I'm coming in. Basically, she wasn't really giving her much choice, was she?
Yeah. Also, do you want to hold my baby? Why would you want to?
Not really. No.
I didn't understand either party in this. Like, she wanted to hold the baby. She wanted to let someone stranger hold her baby. Neither.
The obvious reason for why she wanted to hold the baby is she's lost a kid at some point.
Oh sure, yeah, I'm sure that's going to be in her character. But I'm just saying personally, no. Like, when anyone says you want to hold the baby, I'm like, no, go away.
Don't ask me that. This is a small human child that I don't want to be near. Keep it to yourself.
Hand me a cat, but keep the babies away from me.
I'll take a turtle.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't really want cats either.
Sure, but whatever. Turtles are wet though. Yeah.
Doesn't bother me as much.
I'm just saying the cat is easier to deal with afterwards, because you're just a bit of
fun. Give me a toys. It's problem solved.
Well, how weirdly I thought this was went down. So she comes in and she's playing piano, and it's all fine at first, and then she starts to like basically just starts slamming the keys, and it's starting to sound a bit more frantic, and it's like, and the neighbour's kind of like, you okay? And then she keeps slamming the keys, and she's like, we should probably go, and she runs out, and as soon as she leaves, she just smashes the piano to bits, like just through the whole thing.
Through it, yeah.
Straight through the keys at first, then she punches through the back, and then, like, you know, all the strings and all the...
What a waste of a piano.
Everything. Of course that'd be your thought.
I mean, you know, grand pianos are not cheap.
Actually, my thought is that I've never really seen a piano smashed like this. Like, I've never seen someone just smash through the keys like that, I don't think.
No.
It's a unique visual to me. I feel like I've seen people like be body slammed onto the top of a grand piano and stuff like that, but I've never seen someone like smash through it and, like, you know, that's okay.
No, I'll give you that.
It was unique in that sense. It did feel a little bit random. Like, I
don't understand what the purpose of the scene is, other than to be like, oh, she's out there and she's living her own life as well as doing the because obviously this neighbor recognized her from months ago, so she's been here a while.
Yeah, honestly, what was striking me about it was that when we first get that scene of her burning the clothes, I thought, oh, maybe we'll keep coming back to her this episode and she'll have a little arc, she'll have a little story, and there wasn't a story. It was just this scene.
Yeah, I don't quite get what it's doing. Like, I mean, I've inferred the thing about the kid, sure, but other than that,
yeah.
I mean, we know she's unstable.
Yeah.
Well, it tells us that she's living here and has been for a while, presumably having some sort of normal life. I mean, if she's recognized, I don't know. So she doesn't get out much, so maybe she just sits in the basement all day.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I feel like this might be a better scene if we didn't know who she was yet, and this was the first we saw of her, because it'd be like, well, who's this? Or why is she smashing a piano? You know, it'd be asking all these questions. But because we've already met her, seen her enough to like, okay, she's the bad guy, she's the villain, she's connected to Jessica's past. This doesn't offer us a whole lot.
Yeah. Alternatively, if you go the other way and it's like, okay, we do know who she is, and this is just filling out some of that. It's fleshing out who she is. Then maybe I'd enjoy it more for that. Like I could see its place.
Yeah, you don't really get a lot from it other than the piano smashing.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot there, which is true. So here's something. So we've been worried a little bit about Griffin's whole, stealing data off her laptop, talking on the phone. Oh, I can't speak. She's right outside, and we were worried. Oh, they're going to make him a bad guy. It's going to be the usual twist where he's actually working for someone, and so on. They didn't do that. They actually gave us yet. I don't think he is yet. I feel like he might go bad and start working for someone because of what happened in this episode.
Quite possibly.
But instead, he was actually just planning a proposal. He got like all of her friends and family together, and he even like tricked Jessica into showing up for the proposal. Yeah. And yeah, because Trishka was thinking, oh, this is going to be this is an interview with some news channel or something, and she shows up and it's not that. And I'm glad he addressed. I'm glad he asked the question later, because when he says, "Oh, I'm asking you to marry me," and she says, "Thank you," I'm like, that wasn't a yes. Thank you is not a yes.
It's not, is it?
And so I'm glad that 2 minutes later, after he hugged her and kissed her, and everyone was kind of cheering for them, he kind of went, all right, so that thank you was a yes, right? just to clarify, because that's not completely clear. But no, she breaks up with them. She points out to her mother. She was disappointed it wasn't an interview. And she was disappointed it was a proposal. So that was maybe like, okay, that's me seeing what I really feel.
It's a pretty good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think I should probably end it right now before I break more hearts. The scene with Griffin was whatever. Like it kind of played. It was kind of awkward, and as much as I'm relieved he's not just some bad guy, I almost felt a little bit clunky the way he went, I had to be really sneaky about it, Jessica. I had to steal stuff off her laptop. And I'm
I had to hack into a laptop to get a contact. So I'm like, okay.
I feel like it was over-explaining again. He's been doing that a lot, and I feel like that was
And that's my concern, is because it was so clunky and blatant by saying this, I'm not sure if this is actually what happened, or if that's a misdirect. Like, he actually was talking to someone else as well.
Well, here's the thing, though. Why would he have any reason to say that? No one knows he's been doing it yet.
No, I know.
If that's meant to be a misdirect for the audience, it's completely bullshit writing.
Oh, it is. But I think it tells you where I am. That crossed my mind.
I don't think it is. I think it's just a clunky way of making sure the audience knows that's what that was.
I hope so, because that's still not good, but it's better.
Of course, Trish has actually had a hangover from the inhaler that she got from Will, and her mother sort of recognises the symptoms of like, oh, this is you in withdrawal the next day, like blah 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 blah, and she keeps making references to it, and she's like getting on her case later on after the whole the proposal and breakup. She's like getting on her case, like no, you call him back, plead insanity, he may take you back, and Trish explains her reasons, and they make a lot of sense, and her mother being her awful mother, oh, you're a junkie again, and obviously the bit that really... And this scene wasn't too bad, I thought, because I thought when she actually accuses her of like going back to Max to offer him sexual favours for, a lead on something, she accuses her of whoring herself out for a story. Trish snaps and smacks her in the face, which is, kind of a nice moment, because it's like, yeah, she had that coming. Like,
but alternatively, she did just smack her mother in the face.
Alternatively.
Well, I'm just saying it's a pretty out there reaction.
Well, yeah, under normal circumstances, I feel like in this case, though, her mother has been nothing but awful and tried to manipulate her life, including right now, where she's putting her down and she's saying, "You're a junkie. You're never going to get anywhere. You need to marry him so he can take care of you." She is being super demeaning.
The last part, I agree. The first part, I can see the argument that she's trying to snap her out of it, like shock her into getting off whatever she's just got onto.
I mean, the fact that Trish then inhales again after this scene would maybe lead to the suggestion that, okay, she does need help here, she's starting to get addicted to this new thing.
It's I'm not saying that it's the right approach, but I think I think it could have been like part of that being like, no, stop this. You know, you try and make her horrified with the idea, so she stays away.
I'm not sure if this is good writing or bad writing. That I actually think she's, because this is the thing. Outside of the fact that she did inhale something, she's completely in the right about everything else. Her mother is trying to control her. She is trying to control her love life. She's accusing her of these horrible things. She's always tried to control her. With the exception of the fact that she did inhale something and she's going to inhale it again, she is actually, I mean, for the most part, I think this is a pretty justifiable slap.
Fair enough. I still think it's somewhat uncalled for, the actual physical slap.
In movie TV rules, I think this slap is justified.
All right, fine. I'll let it slide.
Yeah, I'm not saying in real life you go around slapping your mother's people. That's not what I'm saying. Right?
That's definitely what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying. But, so I'm not sure if, like, so on the one hand, she seems pretty justifiable. Like, she's mostly, like, because most of the things she's talking about, she's actually wrong. Like, everything the mother's saying is pretty incorrect.
Yeah.
Right? She didn't go to Max for that. She is invading in her life about this whole romance thing. Like, Trish already was feeling kind of off about it. It already seems like she did. But if you're right and she's saying...
I'll dispute that she felt off about it, because I think... she says, it was when she got there and realised what it was. That's when she kind of noticed.
Well, see, the reason why I say that is because right from the get-go with this guy, it always kind of felt phony to me. And I feel like, like that scene where she was asking Jessica what there's nothing wrong with him. Like, almost she was hoping there was, so she could just use that as an excuse to end it.
Okay, I get it.
I mean, she may not have admitted it to herself and realised it until she got there.
I don't think she was aware of it.
Yeah, no, that's fair, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I kind of got those vibes anyway.
No, that's fair.
It felt doomed the entire time, is what I'm saying. It felt too, I don't know, perfect and clean, I guess.
Oh, definitely.
But, yeah, so I'm not sure, like, who... I think that's why I side mostly with Trish, even though she then inhales something, and it's like, okay, so you are actually getting addicted to something, so you do need help. Although, I think the show's clearly shown us that her mother's not the one to be helping her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. Do I like that Trish is getting addicted to something?
Not really. I mean, I get it. It's. I'm not like super against it. I get it. It just. I'm not super excited about it either.
We're dealing with Jessica's addiction to alcohol, and it might end up mirroring that. Especially this struggle make her feel a bit more superpowered. So I imagine this will be like a weird origin and how she becomes Hellcat, and we'll go down that path. But I have to admit though, it was kind of like, it was a development that kind of went, okay.
So I think you kind of hit it there where you said, oh, it'll mirror Jessica's thing. My problem is I'm already getting that from Jessica. Do I need it again with Trish?
Well, here's the thing. I can see it working if they if this is how they convince each other. Like if Jess sees what she's doing with being addicted to something, and that makes her realise about herself, I can see it working in that way. I can see it paying off that way. I think because the season's been really clunky up until this point with a lot of these elements, that it's natural to assume that it won't work out that well, and that's why you're kind of worried about it.
Exactly. I think that is it. I think it's not a terrible idea. I just, I feel like I could do without it, perhaps.
Yeah. Speaking of, Hogarth is still sick, and
yeah, sure.
And she clearly wants the nurse, because the nurse is hiding with her, and Malcolm, is an associate now, but he takes the nurse over, and she's like, this is of course after she tries and steals Malcolm's TV to get a bus ticket or something, and
and Malcolm straight up threatens her, and it's like, well, I'll just take a picture, post your location, your bait.
See, he's becoming more like Jessica. You see,
he is. He's
happening. It's happening. But she's with Hogarth, and she's like, "Yeah, you're not just keeping me. You could keep me safe somewhere else. You want me here for something." And she's like, and you can see it earlier on when Jessica's telling the cops everything, and she's talking about the genetic research and the experimentation and bringing him back from the dead. You just see Hogarth perk up, like, experimental medicine. You say, "I am interested. I'm in the market for that right now. I'm in the market."
Yeah, just what I happen to have been looking into.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, on the one hand, okay, does that negate our complaint that it's really disconnected? Because arguably it's a lot more connected now that Hogarth's going to look into it for herself because she wants some of this potential miracle. Like, will it go as far as that she's going to like get the Doctor to like do something to her? Like, hey, you know, I'll pay you to do fancy superpower things on me, make me better.
Which is definitely more interesting than what it was.
Oh yeah, yeah, with that sappy music coming in as she's watching someone like, you know, drop their crutches and like just stare at them, and as she's judged by everyone else for just staring.
Yeah. Do you know what really annoys me about that piece of music?
Yeah.
It's the one piece of music in this show I dislike. I really like the rest of the score.
Here's the thing, I don't dislike the piece of music on its own, but they immediately used it in a scene that made me have this negative association with it. So now every time it plays, I have the same negative.
Because they use it so often, though.
Yeah.
Like it's been in like every episode.
I think the piece on its own, I think, is a nice little piece, which used correctly could be a fine little, you know, ambient sort of sad music thing that plays.
Even for that, I think it's too over the top, even for a lot of that.
Here's the thing, though, I wouldn't use it for a person. I would use it for more like you know, you've got the exterior shot of the city and you're just setting the mood before you go in deeper. I'd use it for that, but hey, but no, I mean, I think it's fine on its own. I just think it's used every time it's hitting you over the head with the point. She's sad, she's dying, feel sympathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, that's Jessica Jones episode 5. I mean, I don't want to say we're suffering it, we are condoning watching more of it.
Sure.
We're accepting that more of it will play in front of us, but we're not necessarily excited about it, I don't think.
No, I'm not excited, but it's not the worst thing ever. You know, there's things I like in every episode, even when there's things that I'm not, I don't want this. There's always stuff I like.
Yeah, I do have to say, though, I think the on a scale, I think the stuff I don't like is outweighing the stuff I like.
Oh, no, that's fair. Here's a major thing of, you know, I want to give credit to in this episode.
Okay. On.
So it's when she's at the police station. She goes, right, okay, I'll tell you the story. And I had flashbacks to Iron Fist.
Oh,
I was like, oh my god, she's going to sit and tell the story.
It cut away. Yeah.
It cut away.
It cut away.
Like, oh, thank God, they've got some sense still. Like, you know, no matter what I say about this show, it is quantifiably better than Iron Fist because it didn't make me sit through that conversation.
It is better than Iron Fist. Let it be said. Yep. There you go. I agree with that. We'll be back with episode 6 soon. Let us know what you think of this one in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz. If you want to support the channel, we're at patreon.com/mailfuzztv. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla? Speaking of Iron Fist.